Where does the duty of a policeman to not use violence on civilians end, and where does the right of protecting himself or herself start? Too much freedom and no punishment of the officers will bring to oppression of suspected citizens, while the opposite means the oppression will be on the police itself. This is really controversial. Since we are SinoActive, we always want to show the real China. And today we are going to talk about the police in China, and we are going to show something that the Western media will never show you. Since a comparison with the Western police will make no sense due to the different culture and social context, we are going to first compare the Chinese police with another unknown Asian country's police. But wait for a minute, why an unknown Asian country? Why not saying the name of the country? Well, here you need to trust me. It will be more interesting if you get your answer later. First of all, let's have a look about the video which shows what happened in this Asian country first, to see how the police handle a direct civilian attack. So what happened during the video is that the elder pedestrian is trying to cross the road with a red light, and the policeman just noticed that he's doing this mistake, and he called him to tell him that next time he should pay more attention to avoid taking so much risk. And the elder pedestrian's answer is more like, you cannot regulate me, you cannot tell me what to do. And the policeman is trying to explain that actually it's really a mistake on the side of the pedestrian, and he should tell him about that. But the elder pedestrian just continues repeating the same thing, and eventually just slap the police officer and start to go away. And when the police officer go after him, the elder pedestrian is not scared at all. He just look back at him and say some other bad words to him, and then just try to go away. So it's really a strange situation, to say the least. Of course, we are against violence in general, and the violence towards police, the same police who was sworn to protect us from danger, is really horrible, and the opposite is also true. Police attacking the members of society who they should protect actually is even worse. Recently we have seen what that means. Going back to the video, the policeman in that Asian country actually answered to the violence with words, even while being right. And I think it's kind of strange, because even in Italy, where compared with the Western, police is actually avoiding to use guns as much as they can, even with criminals. Even in Italy, we will see a stronger reaction by the police. But that doesn't mean that the fact that they don't use guns too much will bring people to not respect police. Actually, it's just hard to hear anybody having a fight with them verbally, and much more less physically assaulting them. So, as we can see, what happened in this video is really extremely different from what happens in the Western, which makes you wonder what kind of country it is that people can be that aggressive to police, or at least some people, and what kind of government will not give the right for policemen to properly defend themselves in this kind of situation. And the last question you will ask yourselves is why I didn't yet give you the name of this country, right? Well, now it's time, so get ready. The answer is both incredible and obvious, because this unknown country is actually China.
What?
Yes, you didn't hear it wrong, and yes, what have you seen in the video just now happened in China. But Marco, you will say, you're tricking us. You said you will compare China with another Asian country. Well, yes, you are right actually, and I'm sorry for tricking you. But actually it was part of the explanation. Let me explain it to you. From a certain point of view, the comparison was really between China and another country in Asia. The point is that it was, one was the China in your mind, and the other was the China that nobody will show you. I mean, of course, it's not like everyday police officer will get slapped. And it's not that police in China doesn't have any other issues, but Just like police in everywhere in the world, they have their own issues besides this one, but this single issue deserves your attention because most people will read almost daily about China's dystopic police state, but not about this. And what kind of police state will let an officer get slapped like that? Alright, you may say, well, it's an exceptional case, right? Well, unfortunately, as you can see from the videos I'm showing now, no. Just in 2019, there have been 17,445 cases like this, with 20,092 policemen as their victims. In more than half of the cases, 9,934 received violent attacks. In 5,994, they have been beaten or pushed around. And in 1,517, they have been hit or got intentionally rolled over by a vehicle. And to be honest, even I can confirm that this kind of behavior is something that actually every once in a while you will hear of. And it makes you think, because it's so weird. It's like people don't really care about what they can risk for doing this. But how can this happen? So we studied more and we provided you the reasons that we believe will explain the difference between this reaction in China versus another police that you will know much better. To offer the comparison, we will use the police in the United States, since it's something that the majority of the viewers will understand about. Point number 1. The risk that a civilian will carry a fire weapon in China is pretty low. It's comparable, for example, to Europe. While in US, policemen in specific states expect that just anybody with the hands in their pocket could at any time get a gun out and start shooting. And this is a major cause of stress for them, and often it is used as a justification for the violence on an individual. The second point is about the police in China has the right to shoot when in danger, but there must be one of 15 different circumstances which all include objective danger, which means instinct or gut feeling do not matter for this. The next point is about social media. You need to think about what happened for George Floyd's death in the United States. It's a huge response if you compare it with what normally happens in similar conditions. Well, in China, this kind of reaction is nothing strange. Any major injustice will raise consciousness on the social media to the point that it will become a crisis. And doesn't matter where it happened. It's true that in China, the offline protests are not so heard of, they are not so easy to find. But people really can make a lot of noise online in the social media. Chinese can really quickly create small issues and even more a major one become an internal crisis just by sharing on social media and requesting justice. In this, they are almost identical to Westerners. Actually, the difference is the sheer number. The sheer number is so much huge that just one small percentage of the population can make things change very fast. You need to consider that if 1 million people protest in US or in Italy, it's kind of big. In China is, yes, big, but not that big. Because we're still speaking about a percentage that is 0.1% of the whole population. The penalty to use violence on policemen in China is quite low. This is the last point. If you consider a barehanded attack, which doesn't cause serious injuries, it will only let you get a 3 years sentence in prison. While in US, the same sentence for the same crime will be 5 to 15 years. And of course, there is still the risk that policemen can use self-defense on you with all the consequences of the case. But in the end, we want to say that neither China nor US should be the role model. Both countries have their own issues, both the police have their own issues, and even if in this case those issues are opposite to each other, maybe for Westerners the issue about that China has is not maybe as serious as the one in US or vice versa. It's just a matter of perspective. And if you consider that this is not the only issue that Chinese police have, just like this is not the only issue that US police has, then a comparison, it's really, really hard. It's better to just wish for both police to improve on their own issues and do not place any of them as the top police of the world, because there is no such thing. So this video doesn't want to represent China or Chinese police as better than US or US police, or the opposite. And to be honest, as a company, SinoActive doesn't have any interest into doing that. We just want to point out what is the part of China that it's not really easy to find in the Western social media or in the newspaper. Another intention we have for today actually was to show that the stereotypes should be considered as for what they are, just oversimplification of much more complex concepts. And for this reason, while the stereotypes sometimes can be useful, we need always to keep our eyes open and do not wear pink or black colored glasses when we look at something. Most importantly, our hope is that by sharing some more information, we can help the West and East have more understanding towards each other. Because in the end, the real progress can only happen when there is real cooperation. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again next time. Bye bye.